So now when we look back at who Epstein was and who he associated with, do you think it's possible, for example, that Bill Clinton could fly on his private plane with him, what was it, like 26 times, and not know what he was up to?
Sure. If you look at those actual trips, one of them was a big trip around Africa, which was 11 stops. So 26
Does that
of
count for?
really?
26 of those flights were just this one trip around
Interesting.
Africa and Europe and Paris.
How many?
That
11.
kind of
11. Okay, you still have 15.
Yeah, I think 6 of them were for one trip to Asia.
See, that's something you don't hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, which
That
is
is very
it
compelling.
was like
Yeah.
Hong Kong, and I think maybe even went to Russia. I'm not sure what it was. It was like something for like the Clinton Global Foundation or something.
And then what does it mean? They were just using his plane?
Yeah, yeah.
Just-
And I think it was like, essentially a charity type thing that they were doing.
So
That's funny
so
to go from
okay, but let's say,
charity to-
okay, let's
sex
continue down.
trafficking?
So let's say there's even 6 left, 7 left on a, or that were individual flights.
They're all listed where he went from and to. So we know what they actually were. One of them was a flight from JFK to Luton, which is in London, and then the next day flying back. So is that suspicious? Maybe. Is he flying? Is flying Bill Clinton to London so he can engage in some nefarious activity? Maybe, but it seems just like another.
Mike,
typical
I
type of
wonder
thing.
how many people, how many flights, how many people, how many flights are we talking about here? You know what I mean? How frequently was this guy flying around?
Oh, he flew a lot. If you look at the actual logbooks, I was looking at them last night. I was trying to figure out where all these flights were going to. I did a post on Metabunk about it, like looking through it all. And Epstein was flying around everywhere. He was always flying with that his assistant,
The lady.
Ghislaine
yeah,
Maxwell.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a few other people.
Who was recently seen in L.A. at In-N-Out.
Yes. Or was she? There's
Or
some-
was she?
there's some
Always
evidence
the or was she.
That photo was kind of doctored in a very strange way.
Was it?
Yeah, and there was all kinds of
Oh,
stuff being
no.
edited.
No.
He wasn't sure if it was
my
genuine.
God.
Like the poster in the background wasn't right, and so
What on earth?
we couldn't figure it out. And everybody at Metabunk was looking at this thing and trying to figure out, is this where it is obviously that in and out, but
How do you feel when you get turned into the conspiracy theorist? That frequently must happen in your line of work.
I don't really get turned into a conspiracy theorist, but I try to figure stuff out.
Right.
So I see something that's weird, and I think, how can this possibly be? How can this thing be explained?
How
what's
much
the
time
real?
does it take you to spend on
It depends
something
on the
like that?
thing.
This
but-
is your full-time gig, though,
like
right?
what does your day look like?
Yeah.
I mean, I did spend hours looking at these photos of Ghislaine Maxwell at the In and Out, just because it was an interesting
Well,
thing.
yeah, sure. It's
So
fascinating.
it was like a reflection of a car in the advert and the bus stop.
That's just
And so I
insane.
did a little 3D model so I could check to see if the angles were right with the other
Oh
cars.
my god.
Yeah, it was.
Sometimes it doesn't work out.
Yeah, but you eliminate one possibility and it brings you closer to the truth.
Yeah.
And it really wasn't very important. I mean, that's just
It's
that
fun.
poster was just a PR thing on her part. But there's other stuff.
She was reading some book about CIA agents.
Yeah, it's almost like trying to send a message or
Yeah.
something, like because it was a photo shoot that was staged by her and her, I think, a publicist friend or a realtor friend or something, and she probably picked which book.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, certainly.
Makes
It was a
sense.
fun.
Yeah.
Makes more sense than sitting in and
What
out.
a psycho. They're all psychopaths, man.
Hey, maybe they picked the book that they thought would just mess with people the most and get people talking, and maybe they edited all this stuff.
I mean,
because
how-
they thought people would talk about it.
How psycho can you be at a time when I don't know her involvement with him, but she was certainly a lifetime partner of his.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And so to trivialize the whole thing by kind of sitting out of In and Out with the CIA book is pretty psychotic.
Yeah, who knows what's going on? Yeah, but you look at the flight logs. She's listed on pretty much every flight that he makes.
Wow. So now when you that's really interesting what you say about Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
They certainly omit that.
How
don't
is
they?
it that even on the news they never would mention
I've never heard
that
it broken down like that.
27 flights could actually mean like 3 trips?
Yeah, it's six trips I think in total.
That's incredible. That is such a
That's a
big
big
difference.
difference.
The
than
banal
saying
trips
20.
as well. They're just him doing his Clinton Global Initiative.
Wow,
junket.
that's
type stuff.
That's incredible. So there you go. I mean, the way that information is presented makes all the
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some people present, he flew on the Lolita Express 26 times.
Yeah.
And then
You're
that
like, wow.
becomes, he flew on the Lolita Express to the private island.
Which
Right.
he never did.
And he never did. There's no evidence he ever went there.
Wow.
Oh, actually, there's one of the girls, now a woman, says that she saw him, like 15 years ago there or something like that. So he has actually been, someone has actually said that he was there, but there's no actual real evidence other than that he went there. Certainly not the flights.
It is interesting how connected he was. He was also friends with Donald Trump, our current president.
It's very interesting.
You know,
Yeah,
with the royal family.
and people don't really know how he made his money.
Right.
Right.
It's weird.
People thought he was a hedge fund manager, but
Yeah.
then upon
He
further
wasn't.
inspection, he hadn't made much money managing funds. Is that right?
Yeah, I think he was essentially a money manager for very rich people, like billionaires, would give him money and he would invest it for them. But some people think he might have been running some kind of Ponzi scheme, pyramid thing like Madoff did.
Well, it certainly fits his profile as a psychopath.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can totally see. It's like if Bernie Madoff, got away with it, that's Jeffrey Epstein. And so we don't really know what happened. It'd be interesting how it
The
all plays
IRS
out.
certainly knows,
Yeah.
right?
Well, they know from the documents that they've got of him, but I'm sure they don't know everything.
By the way, the
going on.
IRS, another entity that is
Right, you
completely
think they're so
understaffed
slick.
and
Yeah. But
probably
the guy's filing tax returns, and
Well, yeah, he's
got to be something in there,
Yeah,
presumably.
yeah, but just because you're filing tax returns, it doesn't mean you list
Being
everything.
honest,
That's.
yeah.
I mean, if you're running a Ponzi scheme, are you going to put it on your tax returns?
Well, I assume the IRS, when they see a billionaire, if they see a guy flying around with private jets and hanging out with like all these people, and he's showing that he made $1 million bucks, they're gonna be like, "Let me see it."
Yeah, it's going to look like he
Yeah.
made that money. So he's going to, if he was running some kind of pyramid scheme,
Got to show a lot of money.
it's going to
earning.
show that people are giving him money, he's investing it, and there's certain returns that he's got. But they're not
Yeah.
going to look at the actual, every single little detail.
Yeah.
He probably used a bunch of like offshore accounts as well.
Yeah.
Disguise it.
The Epstein's case is a very interesting one. The connections, it's got it all. The mysterious murders. I mean, it's really a perfect fodder for conspiracy theorists.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. I think we actually learned a lot here.
I think that you mentioned the Clinton body count as well. I think a lot of people kind of take for granted that that's a true thing, that the Clintons have actually murdered lots of people.
Certainly a right-wing talking point that
Yeah.
they hold to be true.
But
where does that come from?
it's a pretty old conspiracy theory. I think it goes way back to the 90s. Someone started a Clinton body count with about 20 people or so.
Oh, 20.
Yeah.
Very generous.
And now it's in the hundreds because
Oh, 100.
Really?
yeah.
But is each person accounted for, or where does the number come from?
These are people who died. These are people who had some connection with the Clintons and who are now dead.
So anyone that knew the Clintons and died.
Yeah, out of the approximately 1 million people who at some point had some connection to the Clintons over
But
the
also
last 20 years,
they're old, so
and a lot of them died of
people-
natural causes.
So let me ask you this. Out of the body count, is there any of them that you find even the slightest bit credible?
Well, there's lots of people who will die, and then you can't say exactly why they died.
No, but their death benefited the
Oh, the
Clintons.
Clintons.
Yeah.
There probably are. I'm not aware of them, but there's probably going to be by the law of averages.
out of 100.
that it would help, but I don't know. There's people like old bodyguards or relatives of old bodyguards. One big one is the Seth Rich.
That's the one that you always hear.
Yeah,
Now, can you explain? Because I'm not totally
not
familiar.
familiar.
This is the one that I always hear. I mean, by huge right-wing publications and very popular figures saying
Yeah.
they like you said, hold it pretty much to be
so
true.
yes, so Seth Rich was a DNC staffer, and the theory goes is that he was the one who leaked all the stuff from the DNC emails, the internal emails, and they believe that he was killed because of that, because he was going to reveal it to the media. Problem is that was just a completely made up story. He is a DNC staffer, but there's no evidence whatsoever that he actually had access to these servers and took this information from them.
So they're connecting dots that there's
Yeah.
not evidence.
And he was killed in what was described as a botched robbery. So it was mugged essentially, but ended up nothing being taken, and he was dead. But that's something you can see how it could happen. Someone tries to rob somebody, said, "Give me your money." They don't give them the money, so you shoot them, and then you see some people down the street, so you run off. It's something that's quite plausible that could happen. Just because it fits your narrative to make it suspicious doesn't mean it automatically is suspicious.
Yeah.
Dan, can you pull it up? Dan was saying that Fox News, even at one point,
Oh yeah.
the most popular news outlet in the country, had made a story about it. Dan, can you link me that? I think we should watch that. I think that would be useful.
Yeah, and I think they were forced to retract it as well.
Oh, they
eventually.
did.
Yeah.
Try to find the retraction as well, Dan.
Yeah.
You got it.
Like everyone.
Well, CNN recently had a really great Donald Trump story they retracted about.
Really?
They had reported, it was this huge news. He said he has Donald's tax returns, and his loans had Russian oligarchs as co-signers that were close to Putin. And everyone was just like, holy fuck, that's crazy. And then the next night they retracted.
Yeah.
Or Donald had threatened them with legal action too.
Yeah.
Which, if it's not true, fair enough, right?
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
Certainly.
it's certainly something that he knew
defamative.
that they wouldn't be able to back it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe there's something there. He probably has some connections to Russian oligarchs at some level,
Yeah.
but he knew that this particular thing wasn't true, so he just pounced on it and was
Yeah.
like, fake news, CNN.
Mm-hmm.
So from his perspective, it was a good thing because,
It did. I mean,
Yeah.
again, it's just another loss for
yeah,
people who do subscribe to this theory that Trump is somehow a Russian asset.
yeah, and I don't think there's any real actionable evidence. Like that's what Mueller found was that there wasn't enough evidence to point any fingers in that direction. He found lots of stuff going on. Obviously, the Russians did a bunch of stuff, but was there any connection between what they did and the Trump campaign? There's no real strong evidence that happened. There's circumstantial evidence. People had meetings with Russians. There's the famous Trump Tower meeting where they supposedly were getting dirt on Hillary Clinton. So things actually happened, but nothing that raises to the level of something that they can
Some
prosecute.
high-level
on.
collusion between Russia and the
Yeah.
Trump campaign.
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't rule it out, but I wouldn't also bring it to trial
Right.
because you'd probably lose.